What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back with another video. First of all, hopefully there's not too much noise in the background. There's stuff going on upstairs and there's laundry going on down here. Very busy day right now. Very busy night, I should say. Anyways, the Leafs win 6-1. That's what this video is about. Very, very good game from the Leafs. A complete 60-minute game from the Leafs. They played very, very good. And of course, this was the Hall of Fame game. The Leafs have had some poor nights on the Hall of Fame game nights, but they did really good tonight. Of course, that included Gary Bettman of all people, Marty St. Louis, and Martin Brodeur, and there was obviously more. Willie O'Ree was in there. I'm obviously forgetting there's also a Canadian women's hockey player. I can't remember her name, and I definitely know who she is. I apologize. I might actually make a video specifically on the Hall of Fame class anyways, but regardless, 6-1 win for the Leafs tonight. Keith Kincaid, he had a rough game tonight, but I don't believe it was all his fault. We'll get into that in just a little bit. So we will get into the goaltending stats, and it was Kincaid for the Devils versus Freddie Anderson tonight. And Freddie Anderson has been real good in November. Like, his save percentage is in like the 960, 980, some ridiculous range. So he had another good night. Of course, Keith Kincaid, shots against 32, 6 goals against for 26 saves on the night. There were some rough goals that went in. One he didn't even see, we'll get to, but I feel kind of bad for him, and it's, you know, some he would have liked to have stopped, but the Leafs were real good tonight. The Devils actually had 39 shots against. There was a period of the game where the Devils were sort of getting a bunch of shots on goal, but Freddie looked real good. Other than a couple hiccups, the Leafs tried to keep the shots limited, but it didn't look like they had that many shots, and they did, 39 shots. But Freddie, of course, only allowed 1 goal for 38 saves, a solid night for him, and I'm real happy with this performance. But let's get to the first period, where there was a bit of a scare, where John Tavares was hit knee on knee. I can't remember who it was. I don't think it was Heischer. I can't remember who it was, but regardless, he got up, he was okay, and he scored his 9th of the season, 12 minutes into the game. A nice pass from Ron Hainsey. It was assisted by Riley and Hainsey. Riley had another real good night tonight as well. The Leafs look real good. And then, you know, there were some good stops here and there for both sides. The Leafs were out shooting them quite a bit. In the first period, it was like 15-4, like 14-4 early on, and I was really impressed. But then we go to the second period, where Nazem Kadri had a real nice shot. It was kind of a knuckle puck, but he did have a real good release on that puck. His 5th of the season, he's picking it up, assisted by Patrick Marleau, just almost 2 minutes into the period. It was kind of a nothing play. Marleau made a nice feed to him. He sniped it, and it was 2-0 Maple Leafs. Again, Kadri, he's picking it up. The Leafs know that he's going to score goals, and for him to have 5 now on the season, he's looking like he's just right back to normal. Anyways, not even like 5-6 minutes later, Connor Brown scored his 3rd of the season. Real nice passing play. Par Lindholm made a good pass, and so did Ron Hainsey. Hainsey looked okay at most points during this game. The goal against, which is up next, but again, Brown from Lindholm and Hainsey 5 minutes into the period. But like I said, with Hainsey, Travis Zajac scored his 6th of the season from Blake Coleman. That was only 2 minutes or 3 minutes later. Hainsey looked not too great, but Kadri gave the puck away, I believe, in that sequence. So not the best goal that you want scored against. Freddie probably would have liked to have got the big shutout, but you can't ask for a perfect game every time. And Travis Zajac buried one for his 6th of the season. He's having a decent year. About 15 minutes, 16 minutes into the second period, Andreas Johnsson scored his 1st of the season. It's real good to see him scoring goals, getting that first one. And this one was a good play by Jake Gardiner, and then he tapped in the rebound. So that was assisted, like I said, from Gardiner and Lindholm. Lindholm had a pretty good night. Gauthier had a good night. Ennis had a good night. We'll get to him in a bit. Levo, Ennis, Gauthier, I keep saying those names. Brown had a good night. He was skating all over the place. Kapanen and Johnsson, they all, like, literally, the Leafs got good nights out of guys that you want to see. They're depth players they got real good nights out of, so that was good to see. Anyways, Morgan Riley scored his 7th of the season, 17 minutes into the period, almost 18 minutes in. That was assisted by Nazem Kadri. That was his 7th, like I said, but this one was a weird one. It was kind of at the boards. I can't remember which bench it was by. Regardless, he just ripped it, and there were so many bodies in front. And the TSN broadcast was saying, it's like they seen, like, from the middle of the bench. I can't remember who was there, but he could see the puck, and like Kincaid was just kind of standing there with his glove and his blocker up, like ready to see the puck, and it just went right past him. It looked like it was glove side, and he just kind of stood there and shook his head and just rifled the puck out. And Riley said something to him. I'm not sure. I didn't really read his lips or try to see what he said, but he was probably like, man, that was lucky, something like that. Like, man, I don't know how that went in. But again, Kincaid probably would have liked to have had a couple of the goals tonight, but not everything his fault. The team kind of left him high out to dry in some of the passing plays, some of the cross-crease plays, and, you know, taking penalties isn't always good against the Toronto Maple Leafs because, you know, that kind of makes your guys a little more tired. You're killing, you know, more ice, and it kind of sucks. Regardless, 7th of the year for Riley, and we go to the third period where Ennis makes a nice little play, stick handling through some guys, flipped it up top, or not through some guys, but stick handling behind the net, and then through, I think, one guy, popped it up top corner. That was his 2nd of the year. That was 12 minutes into the period, and Freddie made some good saves in the third, and, you know, rough night for Kincaid, like I said, but the Leafs 6-1. You know, you play Boston Saturday night, tomorrow night. Hopefully you're watching this on Friday. If not, they're playing them today, Saturday. The Boston Bruins are gonna. Tuukka Rask will not be playing. He took some time off. Hopefully, he's doing okay. I know not everything has been his fault. He's been dealing with some stuff personal, I think, and I really hope he comes back strong because Tuukka Rask has been a pretty decent goaltender for the Bruins in years past. A great goaltender. Maybe not in his best stretch right now, but he is a great goaltender for that Bruins team. They love him. Hockey fans love him. He's a bit of a hothead. We all know that, but you know what? He's entertaining. He's a good guy. So hopefully he comes back strong. It looks like Garrett Sparks will get the start for the Leafs against the Bruins, so we'll have to see. I will be reviewing that game as well. I'm uploading a lot more, so hopefully you guys enjoy the content. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. I'd love to have more hockey conversations with you. Join the squad. Let's get to 4,000 subscribers. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Make sure to click that notification bell. Peace.